Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to Global Atheist News, our weekly report on how religion has impacted humanity over the last 7 days. Dateline 24th of September 2022. This week's headlines. There were deaths as women burnt headscarves at anti-hijab protests in Iran. Large-scale disorder broke out in Leicester. German Jews file war crime charges against Israeli leaders. Belgian bishops propose prayer for gay couples but not marriage. A school chaplaincy provider hires Christians because they align with our values. Doug Mastriano uses faith to fend off criticism, even from other Christians. Jewish voters are highly motivated and concerned about American democracy. A GOP congressional candidate said the US suffered from women's suffrage and praised an organization that's trying to repeal the 19th Amendment. The Church of England bars Desmond Tutu's daughter from leading a funeral. And the first Pastafarian marriage was conducted in British Columbia. Mahsa Amini, 22, was beaten in a police van in Tehran after being arrested by Iran's morality police for not wearing a hijab properly. She fell into a coma and died. Protests broke out at her funeral. Some women at the ceremony reportedly removed their headscarves in protest at the compulsory wearing of hijabs. See this video. Her death sparked protests in the capital and other western Iran cities, where 2 people were reportedly killed in clashes with riot police on Monday. According to videos received and verified by the BBC Persian service, the security forces opened fire on protesters. Activists said a woman was among 3 protesters shot dead by security forces in Urmia, Piranshah, and Kermanshah appear in this video.
Begin to
In unprecedented scenes for Iran, a woman sits on top of a utility box and cuts her hair in the main square in Kerman. Another video. Crowds cheered when women burned their hijabs on a bonfire in Sari on Tuesday, the fifth successive day of unrest. Authorities accused protesters of killing 2 civilians in Kermanshah, as well as a police assistant in Shiraz. At least 23 people are now reported to have been killed since protests against the hijab laws and morality police erupted after Mahsa Amini's death. The BBC video summarizes the incidents. Large-scale disorder broke out in Leicester on Saturday, with police and community leaders calling for calm. Officers tried to hold back crowds amid tensions involving mainly young men from sections of the Muslim and Hindu communities. Police said 2 arrests had been made and that the trouble flared up after an unplanned protest. It is the latest of several incidents, including violence after an India and Pakistan cricket match on the 28th of August. This was in India, or at least the subcontinent. Suleiman Nagdi of the Leicester-based Federation of Muslim Organizations told the BBC, "What we have seen on the streets is very alarming. There have been problems in the community since the India and Pakistan cricket match, and while that game often sparks gatherings, they have not in the past turned this ugly. We need calm. The disorder has to stop, and it has to stop now. There are some very dissatisfied young men who have been causing havoc. We need to get the message out that this must end and try to do this through parents and grandparents talking to their sons." Sanjeev Patel, who represents Hindu and Jain temples across Leicester, said he was deeply saddened and shocked by Saturday night's disorder. He said, "We've lived in harmony in this city for many decades, but over the past few weeks it is clear there are things that need to be discussed around the table to get out what people are unhappy about. Resorting to violence is not the way to deal with this. We are horrified and deplore what was going on and yesterday and across the 2 weeks. Across the Hindu and Jain community and with our Muslim brothers and sisters and leaders, we are consistently saying, calm minds, calm heads." He warned people to be wary of disinformation on social media, adding, "Violence is not a solution to anything. This has to be a time for peace, calm, and engagement." Police said one man was detained on suspicion of conspiracy to commit violent disorder, and another on suspicion of possession of a bladed article. They remain in police custody. See this video. A Jewish group in Germany has filed criminal charges against Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid and Defense Minister Benny Gantz over the bombardment they ordered in Gaza this summer. The Israeli surprise attack from the 5th to the 8th of August left some 50 Palestinians dead, including 17 children, and at least 360 people were injured. This was a supposed preemptive strike that was carried out without a concrete threat. Jewish Voice for a Just Peace in the Middle East said. In public, this excessive attack was largely portrayed as self-defense against Palestinian Islamic Jihad. But in fact, they only fired rockets in response to the Israeli bombardment, the group said. Even in the opposite case, there would be no justification for such a scale of civilian suffering and destruction. Israel, thanks to international, including German, complicity, has the most modern weapons technology at its disposal and is, of course, capable of carrying out precise attacks, Jewish Voice stated. When so many civilian casualties are accepted in order to eliminate a few combatants, the end result is deliberate massacre. Belgian bishops on Tuesday published a proposed text for a prayer liturgy for same-sex couples that includes prayers, scriptural readings, and expressions of commitment, despite a 2021 Vatican directive barring church blessings for gay couples. The Flemish-speaking bishops stressed that the moment of prayer was by no means akin to a sacramental marriage, which Catholic doctrine says is a lifelong union between a man and a woman. Rather, they said, their proposal is part of the Belgian church's effort to be more responsive to its gay members and to create a climate of respect, recognition, and integration. They cited Pope Francis's call for the church to be more welcoming to gays, but Catholic teaching holds that gays must be treated with dignity and respect. However, homosexual acts are intrinsically disordered. Last year, the Vatican's Doctrine Office decreed that the Church cannot bless same-sex unions because God cannot bless sin. In Australia, the head of a chaplaincy provider that receives millions of taxpayers' dollars to recruit chaplains to work in public schools says it hires Christians because they are people who align with our values. See this video.
Why does youth care or any similar chaplaincy provider need to be a religious-based provider? Why can't it be a secular one, non-religious one?
Yeah. Look, currently that's because that's part of the project agreement, but we know that the Federal Education Minister has made an announcement that there's a review of that to extend it to pastoral care workers. I think there's all people can do good. Youth Care specifically is a Christian organisation. We don't hide that. It's undeniably so. We employ people who align with our values and who, and I think any successful organisation does that, whether it's a mining organisation or a chaplaincy organisation. One of the most critical success factors in any organisation is values alignment, and I think you would all know that. So for us, we employ people who align with our values. We happen to be a Christian organisation, so those are the people that we employ.
Can you tell us what are the requirements for the chaplains to be part of your program? And do they have a requirement to attend a particular faith organisation?
It is an expectation that a chaplain is connected with a faith community. So we have chaplains ranging multiple different denominations and faith communities. They don't have to attend a specific church, but they have to be connected with a community in some way.
So a chaplain has to attend a Christian church of some sort?
Yeah.
If I don't go to church, can I still work for youth care?
We have chaplains, particularly in remote areas, who don't attend church, that are connected in some way to a community, a faith community, and they are chaplains.
And if I'm Muslim?
So we, like any successful organisation, employ people who align with our values. So everyone is welcome to apply for a position at Youth Care, but the people who tend to align with our organisation are Christians.
It's well known that Doug Mastriano, the Pennsylvania state senator who is now running for governor on the Republican ticket, has a habit of energetically fusing religion and politics, giving voice to Christian nationalism and deriding the notion of separation of church and state as a liberal fabrication. Among other things, the retired Army colonel has made headlines for appealing to the Almighty to overturn the 2020 election results and incorporating a reference to the Gospel of John, walk as free people, into his campaign slogan. Mastriano has drawn fire for showcasing intolerance towards faith that are not his own. A Rolling Stone report turned up a 2019 radio interview in which he said Islam is not compatible with the Christian Judeo ideas of the US Constitution, and not all religions are created equal. Jewish groups have decried his association with Andrew Torba, who is the head of the social media site Gab, where anti-Semitic messages and memes are often shared. Mastriano has been linked to Pond Bank Community Church, a conservative Mennonite congregation. Church officials did not respond to requests to confirm that Mastriano is a member, nor did Mastriano respond to multiple interview requests. A national survey by the Jewish Electoral Institute, which describes itself as independent and non-partisan, finds that Jewish voters are highly motivated to go to the polls in November with concerns over the future of democracy and abortion as the top issue driving their choices. In keeping with decades-long patterns, the poll, based on online interviews with 800 Jewish registered voters and conducted from August the 25th to September the 1st by GBAO Strategies, shows that Jewish voters lean overwhelmingly toward the Democratic Party, finding that 70% of Jewish voters said they planned to vote for Democratic candidates and 24% to vote for Republican candidates. 5% were undecided. American Jews have become especially vocal on abortion. On Wednesday, September the 14th, activists, rabbis, and members of Congress stood outside the US Capitol and blew the shofar, or ram's horn, to proclaim their support for abortion rights. Judaism broadly teaches that abortion is not only permitted, but sometimes required when the life of a pregnant person is at risk. A Michigan candidate for the House of Representatives, who is backed by former President Donald Trump, once railed against giving women the right to vote, arguing that America has suffered since women's suffrage. John Gibbs made comments in the early 2000s praising an organization that was trying to repeal the 19th Amendment, which also argued that women's suffrage had made the United States into a totalitarian state. As a student at Stanford University in the early 2000s, Gibbs founded a self-described think tank called the Society for the Critique of Feminism that argued women did not possess the characteristics necessary to govern, and said men were smarter than women because they are more likely to think logically about broad and abstract ideas in order to deduce a suitable conclusion without relying upon emotional reasoning. The Society for the Critique of Feminism was cited by other anti-feminist websites, including an anti-feminist and conspiracy website called Father's Manifesto, which was operated by the Christian Party and had a petition to repeal the 19th Amendment. Gibbs twice praised that organization in comments hosted on their website, saying, "This is a great website detailing, among other things, the unconstitutional laws which passed as a result of the 19th Amendment and providing further evidence of the damages done by the 19th Amendment." The late Bishop Desmond Tutu's daughter has been barred by the Church of England from leading a funeral because she is married to a woman. Umfo Tutu van Firth is an Anglican priest in the Diocese of Washington, D.C., and she had been asked to officiate at the funeral of her late godfather, Martin Kenyon, in Shropshire, England. The Church of England does not permit its clergy to be in a same-sex marriage because its official teaching is that marriage is only between one man and one woman. However, its sister Anglican church in the US, the Episcopal Church, does allow clergy to enter into gay marriages. The Bishop of Hereford said, "Advice was given in line with the House of Bishops' current guidance on same-sex marriage, and it was a difficult situation." The former Bishop of Liverpool, the Right Reverend Paul Bayes, who is a campaigner for the church to change its position on sexuality, said, "To plead that things are difficult is not good enough. We urgently need to make space for conscience, space for pastoral care, and space for love, he said. Ms. Tutu van Firth told BBC News it seemed really churlish and hurtful. Finally, our Canadian correspondent D.P. Higgs carried out the first Pastafarian marriage in British Columbia. See this video.
We are gathered at this place to witness the formal joining in the legal state of matrimony of this couple, according to the order and custom prevailing and under the authority given and provided by the province of British Columbia. The state of matrimony, as understood by us, is a state ennobled and enriched by a long and honorable tradition of devotion, set in the basis of the law of the land, assuring each participant equality before the law and supporting the common rights of each party to the marriage. There is assumed to be a desire for a lifelong companionship and a generous sharing of the help and comfort that a couple ought to have from each other.
This week's Free Thought Hour features Nigerian author Bara Hurt. He has an interesting story to tell and will talk about the state of Nigeria today. You can join in by texting your comments and questions. It's live and is free. Don't forget to watch Global Atheist News Review, our spin-off show where a panel of opinionated people get a chance to express their views on this very news. The GAN team will be back with our weekly news report next week. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and set the notifications. This has been Global Atheist News. Thank you for watching.